All right, and then C, pads of paper is 525, so 2 times 525 plus 6 times 240. So that would give me what? 1050 plus 1440. So I get $24.90. So C works. All right, so 3 pastel crayons. So 3 times 397 plus 4 times 275. So 397 times 3. 1191. 275 times 4 is 11. Add them together. I get $22.91. So D works. And then E is pads of paper. So that's 525 times 2 plus 6 times 275. So that's 1050 plus 1650. And so I can already tell you that we're going to be over, because 16 plus 10 is way over $25. All right, so that is $27. So your answer should be B, C, and D. All right, so you guys today are working on the Module 13 review, which can be found on page 435. Okay, remember, we're not worried about the vocab. Okay, if you do it in Into Math, of course, it will tell you what you have right or wrong. If you do it on paper, I will go over it towards the end of class. So probably at about 11 o'clock. So that gives you about 28 minutes to work on the review. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer. If you have questions in the meantime, feel free to ask. You don't have to wait for me to go over it at the end. If there's something you don't understand, you need to ask. All right, so Sherry skated 10 laps and Kristen skated 9 laps on a skating rink. The dot plot shows the time it took them to skate each lap. Plot a dot on Kristen's plot to show a time she must get on her 10th lap so that her median time is equal to Sherry's median time. All right, so we know we have 10 here, so that means we should have 4 and 4, right? And then we're going to have 2 in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are my 2 middles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the median is 14 for Sherry. For Kristen, that means I need to have a median of 14 as well. So you're probably saying, well, what if I put a dot here? Well, if I put a dot there, that means I need to add 14 and 15 together and divide by 2, and my median is 14 and a half. So adding a dot at 14 is not going to work. But if I add a dot at 13, I would then have 13 and 15 divided by 2, and that gives me 14. So I could add 13. That would work. I could also add a dot at 12. because I then would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this dot would still be the middle. Or I can add one at 11, and then I still get 1, 2, 3, 4, this dot still being in the middle as well as this dot. So you had 3 things that you could have done. 12, 11, 12, or 13 that would give me the same median of 14. All right, number 4 says, a shipment includes 500 boxes of wheat cereal and 500 boxes of corn cereal. The dot plot shows the masses of a random sample of 20 boxes of each type. Which cereal has the greatest median mass? How much greater? And then state what strategy and tool you would use to answer the question. All right, so the first thing we got to do is we know that there are 20 boxes, so I can't have 10 and 10 because I wouldn't have anything in the middle. So I'm going to have 9 on one side, 9 on the other, and 2 in the middle because it's an even number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it makes that the middle, which is 397. So corn cereal's median is 397. Wheat cereal's median would be the same thing, 9 and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means 403 is the median. How much greater? Well, we subtract. So 403 minus 397 would give me 6, right? Because it's 3 here and 3 here. So it's 6 grams greater. And the strategy that I used, because it says what strategy, is I knew even number of data points, there would be 2 dots in the center. So we add and divide by 2. Okay? But these happen to be the same, so it made it a little bit easier. Okay? So let me pause for a second so you guys can copy. All right, moving on so we can get it completed. All right, number 5 says, the box plot shows the number of students in a random sample of 30 classes at Lincoln Middle School and a random sample of 30 classes at Fairview Middle School. Which statement about the classes at the 2 schools are supported by the random samples? All right, so it says there is overlap in the distributions of the sample. There is a little bit, but not much. Only the whisker overlaps. So I'm going to say no. The number of students per class is more variable at Lincoln than Fairville. So as you can see, this is 18 to 31. So if I found the range, I would get 13, and the range here would be 24 minus 15, and that is 9. So as you can see, variable is how spread out. So that definitely is true, right? Lincoln is more spread out than Fairville. A typical class at Lincoln has about 10 more students than a typical class at Fairville. Well, Lincoln is 24 and 19. So 24 minus 19 is only 5, not 10. So that's a no. About half of the sample classes at Lincoln have more students than the largest sample class at Fairville. Well, from here higher is 50%. So I would definitely say yes, because 50% is higher than the largest value. And the interquartile range for the number of students per class is 3 times the interquartile range. Well, interquartile range here is 21 minus 18. So that is 3. And this one is 27 minus 21. And that should be 6. So that one is a no. Because if I divide 6 by 3, it's only 2, not 3. All right. So Ignacio surveyed a random sample of students at his school about the number of math problems they had for homework on Monday and on Tuesday. The box plot shows his results. What is the difference in the ranges of the two data? So 10 minus 0 is 10. 16 minus 2 is 14. So the difference would be 14 minus 10, which is 4. So that one should have been pretty easy. All right, and then the last one says the dot plot shows the weights of random sample of 22-week-old male kittens and 22-week-old female kittens at a shelter. The mean weight of the males is 1175 and the mean weight of the females is 11. The difference in the mean weight is 6/10 times the mean average deviation of either sample, which statement is supported by the random sample. So if you remember, guys, the smaller the mean deviation, the more overlap we are going to see. So as you can see, there is a lot of overlap. So A says there is a lot of overlap between the two samples. The samples are similar, so that's a possibility, but I want to read the next ones. There is very little overlap, so we know that isn't right because there's a lot. On average, all 2-week-old male kittens at the shelter weigh more than the 2-week-old females. Well, it's not much more, so that one doesn't work. And there are more variations in the weights of all 2-week-old male kittens at the shelter than the weights of the 2-week-old females. Well, as you can see, there is not much variation at all. They are pretty close in data. So D doesn't work, so A is definitely the answer. All right? So that is it for today. I will hopefully get the video and the notes posted this afternoon for you guys so that you can study over the weekend. All right, so that means Monday morning you will have your Module 13 test. Are there any questions? No questions? All right, then you guys are good to go. You have a great weekend.